Hi, today I'm making hot water pastry with Marge. I made it the other day because not everyone has butter in, and it worked equally as well, so I hope it does today. This is just from Lidl's. It's called Perfect for Cakes. If you are using any stalk or similar product, make sure it's got baking on the side, because if it hasn't, it's not going to work. So not normal spread will work. Now I've just used a third of this mug of water. Popped it into the saucepan with 6 ounces of margarine, and I've heated it up till it bubbled. I didn't let it bubble too long. So there we are. So all you need to do, I've put a pound of self-raising flour, plain flour in here. I go for pounds because it's what I remember, but obviously you need to convert that if you're metric. And it's as simple as this. I've got a pound of flour, unsifted. I'm going to pour in my hot, be careful when you do this, margarine and hot water. Now I've put a bit of salt and pepper, I put a bit of salt and pepper in this because it's going to be a savoury dish. Now if you're going to have some leftovers, it's always good maybe to season at the end, because sometimes you might want to use it for some jam tarts. I always make a pound, and we always have a bit extra if I'm making a pie. With pasties I probably won't have any extra, that's why I've seasoned it beforehand, because I use every little bit. But definitely with a pie you'll be left with a few 100 grams, so it's up to you. If you make a savoury thing, obviously season before. If not, you can always add a little bit of sugar to this and make this a sweet pastry. It's not as good as making your own, not a non-hot water pastry, but you can sweeten it and it works okay. Right, I'm going to put a whole free-range egg in. Now normally I used to only use egg yolk, but I found with the egg white it just gives it a little bit more of elasticity. So you can see it all coming together. Now different flours need a bit more water. So you might find throughout your pastry making experiences that you'll get to this point and it might not have enough water in, or your mug might vary, or lots of other things. Your egg might be a bit smaller. So don't be afraid, you'll judge it, because if you're left with quite a bit of crumbing in the bottom, you've not got enough fluid in there. I think this is going to be okay. There's a little bit of crumbing in there, so I might add a tiny, weeny bit of hot water, tiny, just to gather that up. There we are, that's better. Now as you can see, I know people say don't overwork pastry. That's probably as worked as it gets. Okay, so you gather it all up, and it is quite hot, and that's what you've got. Here, let me get that bowl out of the way and this that way. If you could see the mess that is behind me, because I've done loads of different recipes today, so I'm getting a bit confused, as you do. I'm in a massive mess, so because obviously I haven't got anyone washing up for me or tidying. I've got someone filming, my other half, bless him.
Snarky.
So remember I've got a marble surface. I don't know what that was. This has been cleaned down. So it's pretty good, but if you haven't, remember to put flour down. Now, just to give you an idea, just so you can see the consistency, it's warm. There we go. But it's a great pastry, and I use this for everything: pasties, pies, sausage rolls, pesto rolls. It gets used for everything. Now obviously you can see how much fat went into it. It's not the healthiest thing in the world, but if you use it as your main, then and have it occasionally, you're okay. But it's a good way of making stuff go a lot further. So I'll show you briefly, because I'm going to be making pasties, but I want to keep this as a separate, because people don't want to look through a whole video just to get this. So you can see how well it rolls out. It is brilliant. Like I say, that bit of egg yolk makes all the difference. It seems to just give it and see this cracking, don't worry about that, because as you pressure in, Now, if you hadn't had it floured, this might stick. You're far better trying not to put it together and re-roll it, because every time you put it back together you get more flour in. So remember, if it starts to get really dry, you need to re-add a tiny bit of moisture, maybe hot, little weeny tiny bit of hot water. So this would be the general thickness, and this is with margarine, and not expensive margarine. There we go. So that's a good sort of pasty sausage roll weight. And then I've still got that half. So if you think about it, that would probably, with the right shape, do a pie bottom, pie top, and a little tiny bit extra. And that's a pound of flour, 6 ounces of margarine, third of a mug of hot water, and some salt and pepper, and 1 free-ranged egg. I always believe in using free-range eggs. They make all the difference. And for the difference in money, they're easy to get at all your local shops and supermarkets now. So there we go. And if you want to flour your rolling pin, and then if you need to move it around, that's a good way of doing it. Yeah, look at that. That's so easy. Anyone can do this. Kids would probably do it, but obviously keep an eye on them. You do the hot water and the butter and that, and then this would be good to just make up for kids to do their own thing with it, making little pies and stuff like that. So I'm going to now go on to do my lovely lentil pasties, but I'll leave you at that point so you can see this is still nice and warm, still flexible. The only warning I'd say is don't let this hang around too long, because the longer it hangs around, it becomes brittle and less workable. So you need to have everything you need with what you're doing beforehand. So get everything ready, then do your pastry. Don't do your pastry and then wander off and do your filling, because what will happen is it starts to dry out, and then as you turn it over, it starts to crack. Already, this is becoming, you can see it's becoming less flexible. So get everything ready, then do your pastry and you're ready to go. But thanks for watching. That's a hot water pastry with margarine, but you can do it with butter too.